Hey guys, how you doing? This is Tom, and I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to everybody who's currently in the job market because it's a really tough market right now, and it's overwhelming and it's stressful and it's depressing. So I wanted to kind of share my journey a little bit, talk about some of the things I did when I was looking, and just offer you some encouragement that it's going to be okay eventually. You may not see it now, but it will turn out okay. Let me just give you a little background on my employment. I've been in, computer science, data analytics for well over 20 years. I'll just say that. I worked for a company for about 15 years, and when COVID hit, they offered a wide range of people a voluntary package buyout, and it was a really good deal. I had no idea how bad the job market was going to get, so it made perfect sense for me to take it. So I took a couple months off, hung with the family. We had some really good holidays and things. Then I started looking and got smacked in the face with this crazy job market. I'd looked for jobs before, never had difficulty getting interviews, and most of the time, I'd say at least 50% of the time I got the job too. But this was different. And from the get-go, the big thing I noticed is what a lot of people talk about is, a lot of instant declines or ghosting. I'd say probably, 70% of the applications I put out initially were one of those two outcomes. And it became really depressing and demoralizing, and it really became challenging on what to do. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. But before I get into that, I do want to say also that this job market is just so different. I'm older, so I remember the days when we had to actually print out a resume, put it in an envelope, send it to the company. But now with like LinkedIn and Monster and Indeed and all these job boards, it's so easy to apply to jobs that when I've talked to recruiters, they've said, yeah, Tom, I'll put a job out there on one of those job boards. Within a couple of hours, I have hundreds of applicants. So within a couple of days, they have thousands. And that's what I was running into more than anything. I wasn't applying to the job right away. So the company had already picked their pool of people they're going to interview. And I might be qualified. I might be the most qualified, but they've already got people that that one of them's probably going to be good enough. So that's one thing to keep in mind. It's not you. It's the current job environment that we're in. And trust me when I say the HR recruiters I've talked to are just as frustrated with this environment as we are as job seekers. So I had a couple years where I was just doing, I had several different jobs. I was doing a lot of consulting and contracting. And I will say on that front too, the pay is depressed from what it was, right at COVID time or even pre-COVID. There's so many people looking that businesses know they can pay a little less, and they're doing that. And that's kind of capitalism 101. That's the game we're in, but it's not really helpful when you're trying to replace the income you had. So what did I do in my job search? Like, how did I get my job? There's a lot of strategies that you'll pick up when you listen to different people and you read different things. There's the approach where you need to be very thoughtful with every job application. Go research the company, write a very thoughtful cover letter, put that in the cover letter, send it to the company. I did that a bunch. That one didn't really pan out for me that well. And then you'll have some people that say, well, maybe you should just shotgun your resume out. Every job you see that's kind of close to yours in qualifications, like send a resume out to that. Do that. I did that. Now, I got a couple callbacks from that, from all the resumes I sent out, but nothing really materialized there. There's the other strategy. Tailor your resume to every job you apply for. So that becomes really time consuming when you get ghosted. And that's kind of one of the things with the cover letter and the tailoring the resume that kind of made me shy away from those. I was like, God, it takes me too much time to do it this way, when odds are I'm going to be too late and not get a call back anyway. But I do have a compromise for that. Instead of tailoring your resume to every job you apply for, pick 3 or 4 kind of job titles you can do within your skill set. Like, I could be a data analyst, I could be a process analyst, I could be a visualization designer, I can be a SQL programmer. So that's the approach I took. I came up with 3 different resumes. One was kind of more heavy on the tech tools, one was more on the process side, one was kind of on the strategy side. And I would, pick one of those 3, but I wouldn't constantly tailor everything. The other approach that you hear a lot is talking about networking. And there's a lot of people say, oh, you'll never get a job unless you network with somebody. I don't believe that, and I did get a couple positions where I didn't know anybody. That being said, it's still a really, really great strategy to use. And the job I'm in today, I'm in because of networking. Somebody I knew back at the company I worked for saw this job application and he thought it fit my skill set, so he sent it to me. I went ahead and applied and ended up getting this great job. One other thing I did in addition to networking there is that you'll hear people say, well, you should find out who the hiring manager is and send them a DM, like expressing interest, like that shows initiative and value. I'll be honest, I did that a bunch, and I'd say about a third of the time it was helpful. The hiring manager was really excited that I reached out. They thought it showed initiative and kind of moved me on the process, and I usually got an HR interview screen at least. About a third of the people never heard anything from, so it's not one way or the other. And about another third kind of actually got annoyed. They didn't say that, but I could tell because their responses were basically like, hey, it's great you like the job, follow the process, go apply. That being said, I did that with this job. I found the hiring manager and I reached out to her and we had a little dialogue, and it seemed like it was going to be something that was at least worth an interview. So that worked for me, to go find the hiring manager and talk to them. Now, out of all these strategies, what do you do? Because I tried all of them. So the first thing I'll say is do the same thing. Try all these approaches yourself. Not one way is going to get you in the door with anybody. But the other thing that I think is the most important thing ever is every day you got to do something. You have to do something every day. In addition to looking for jobs in the last 5 years, my parents luckily are still alive, but they had a health event where I had to step in and help move them from their home, they live close to me, to an assisted living facility. And then I had to take over as power of attorney, all their financial work and their healthcare power of attorney. And now I go keep them stocked up on Diet Cokes and chocolate bars, visit with them once a week. Getting back to what I was saying is, you gotta do something every day. Don't set unrealistic expectations. Don't go home and say you're gonna send out 20 resumes every day, or you're gonna do 4 of the super targeted ones every day, or do something else. In addition to the job search, do something for yourself. When I was in the heat of this, I was really depressed. I was down on myself. I didn't think I was good enough. I thought I was the old guy, not relevant anymore. And I stopped hanging out with friends and socializing. And that took a big toll on my energy, which is a big factor of why people want to hire me. It's because I bring a lot of energy to whatever group I'm in. I love to work with people. I love to get the job done and all that good stuff. But finding myself in a situation where I couldn't find permanent employment really made me depressed. So I stopped doing things. You have to go do things. If you like to exercise, make sure you make that part of your routine. If you had some friends and you're not hanging out with them anymore, well, make it a point to go out with them. You can, meet somewhere for a walk, you play some Frisbee golf, you can go for lunch or something. But the most important thing is do something every day. Take care of something at home, or work on your job search, or go work out, or just do something, or start, upskilling a little bit. Take some classes too. That's the biggest thing that helped me get back to a place where I'm really gonna be happy for a long time. The last thing I'll just leave you with is, this is not you. This is a crazy environment we're in right now. And again, I've talked about it a few times, but I thought there might be some ageism. I really didn't experience much ageism in my process. There was a couple companies where it was clear, but in general, if you bring the skill set and the energy to a job interview, they'll give you a chance. But it's really easy when you start sending resumes out and you either get ghosted or get those auto declines to really feel down on yourself, to feel like the world's, passing you by and you don't have value anymore. You do. The last thing I'll talk about is AI real quick, because I'm going to give you the big cheat code to AI right now. That's the big buzzword. Everybody's putting AI in, everybody's doing anything. Here's the secret nobody's going to tell you. Nobody knows what they're doing with AI yet. It's the truth. So you have time right now to get in and learn AI and become one of the pioneers of this technology. 95% of people that I know that are doing stuff with AI, they're writing emails with it. They're making their emails sound better. Don't get me wrong, that's how I started. And I do this every day. Almost every email I write, I just write it out and then I feed it through AI to make it sound better. That's great, but it can do so much more. Anyway, I don't want to go down the AI path too much now. I just want to say that is one area. But do not feel bad. This is not on you. This is the crazy environment we're in right now, and you got to try whatever's possible is going to work. Just make sure you get up every day and do something. And if you need somebody to chat with, shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to chat or get on a Zoom, talk about some of my experiences. That really helped me a lot too, is having some other people to commiserate with. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna go finish my walk. I hope you guys have a fantastic night and talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's Tom. If you like that video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Help support the channel and let me keep bringing you fantastic content on a regular basis. And if you want to, go ahead and send a link to a friend too. Thanks, and see you next time.